Here's a question. When should you charge and when should you give stuff away for free? So we talk a lot about creating a product ecosystem, that a high six, early seven-figure business has got to have its core product surrounded by layers of other gifts, and at some point in there's going to be a sales conversation. So in a second I'm going to cut to Nick Rickson, who was speaking at one of our previous Brand Accelerator events actually over in the UK, and this is just a little slither of his story where he talked about how he went from doing something that the entire industry used to give away for free, and he started charging with it. It took him from a 2% margin to a 25% margin by zigging while the rest of the industry was zagging.
And one day I'm sitting there looking at the whole industry, and it's a massive, massive industry, billion dollar industry. And I looked at this industry, and everywhere in the whole country, everybody gave the design service away. How smart is that? Now, why? Because they had massive factories with incredibly expensive machinery. I had nearly £1.5 million of the machinery in my factory, about 45, 50 staff that have wages that need paying, 6 lorries that need filling up. So I've got this enormous machine that was burning 250,000 cash a week before I made a buck. And everybody gave away this amazing service called design to make sure that they filled their factory. And I went, like, we got to stop doing that. So I just went, I read this book on investing, and the most important thing I got of that was 95% of everybody that invests in the stock market loses money, so just do the opposite. That's pretty simple, isn't it? Everybody else is selling, buy. Everybody else is buying, sell. It's a very, very simple business model. So I thought everybody else is free, charge. So I came up with this interesting business model. First person walks in, I said, absolutely, we're more than happy to do your design. And what we do is I'm looking at this design. It'll be about 1,500 quid to complete the design. And then we'll give you all the paperwork and the drawings and a free sample. And then you can either have us make that or you can go and get somebody else to make it. If you have us make it, we discount 50% of the design cost. And he went, okay, 1,500 quid. Now the average profitability in that marketplace, that business at that time was about 2.5%. Even the top boys that were seriously minted with fancy brands and came from all over the place, they were making about 2.5% to 5%. Our profitability in the next 18 months to 2 years went from 2.5% to 25%. And all of it came from our design department. Manufacturing business was still doing what the manufacturing business was doing. You see, once they realized I could make that design for them, who would they rather have make that design now that they paid for it and they own it and they feel really excited about it? And because we could put our prices down now in the factory, I didn't need to compete with everybody else, and I didn't need to pay for my design team because they were paid for. And 2 years later, my design team was 4 times bigger. I had more equipment in my tiny little factory, turning over about 4 million, than the 20, 30, 40, 100 million pound groups did. I attracted some of the best designers in the industry. They used to phone me and say, can I come and work for your company? Because I put them on 25% of the profits.
Before you go, if you haven't put your business through a one-day Brand Accelerator yet, now's your chance. Coming up in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, London and Birmingham is our renowned one-day conference full of entrepreneurs and business leaders talking about how to become more visible, valuable and connected by building assets and leveraging influence. Here's a sneak peek. You can find the links somewhere around this video. And have a go again.